And welcome to episode 95 of the podcast. In this week's episode, we have some van disasters here at Gaslec. We are working on some commercial plumbing with some bigger pipes and bigger costs. And what is the most valuable thing that we should all invest in? This and some more in this week's episode. But first of all, here's my friend Sean to tell you a bit more about the podcast. Are you a new person coming into plumbing and heating? Are you a homeowner that likes a bit of DIY? Or are you a business owner and wanted a bit more knowledge before you make some decisions on your plumbing and heating? Stay tuned to the podcast and hopefully we'll be able to help you out with some of your questions. And welcome back and thank you. So it's been a really difficult week last week. It's been hard work. We've had lots of jobs going on. We've had a big commercial job, which has been a bit more difficult and a bit more, bit constructed in space, a bit limited on space, I should say. And so it's been really difficult trying to work around hop-ups, drain down, get the old boilers out, 3 old boilers. But it's actually quite a small little sort of plant room. So it's not been that easy. It's down in Dover as well. And we've been fitting that in and we've come across a few problems. And then on the way home, I'm recording this on Monday evening, which is the 23rd of February, so this goes out tomorrow morning being the Tuesday, the 24th. And as I'm recording this now, we've just had the van recovered. We had Ryan in a Citroen Dispatch, and we've only had the van for about 2 months, and the timing belt's just gone, which now means a whole new top end of the engine. So it has been absolutely devastating. I had a Citroen van before and the timing belt went and it cost me about 3,500-4,000 quid, and it took about 6 months to get the whole thing sorted. It took absolutely ages. So I'm just absolutely now dreading getting the full report done on the van. So it's not looking great at all. So yeah, well, great start to the week for me. So yeah, not happy at all. I'm never ever, and you can stand on this right now as I go onto this podcast, I'm never buying another Citroen ever again. The van's only just over 5 years old and it goes and throws a timing belt. The other one was only 4 years old and it threw a timing belt. So that is it. I'm done now for buying Citroens. So absolutely finito bonito on that one. So we've been working on a pair of commercial Valent boilers last week and in this week. So people say, oh, commercial, it's all that. Yeah, sometimes it is a bit easier working on commercial. You tend to have a bit more space, not on this one. And the pipes are a bit bigger. But obviously, it actually takes longer to assemble. So this one we've been having, it's got 2 boilers on a frame, and then it all bolts together on flanges. And all the pipes are joined together, but you have to torque up. So you have to get the flanges, make them up, get the gasket in between them, and then do the bolts up like a wheel nut and go round them sort of opposites as you were if you could, and then torque them up to a certain torque setting on these flanges. So you've got to do all of that, and then the heating pipes that come off the plate-to-plate heat exchanger, because it goes boiler, sort of low loss header, brings the 2 boilers together, and then that goes into a plate-to-plate heat exchanger, which is rated at 275 kilowatt. It's a big old thing, and then that comes off in 54mm copper, and then that goes off to the 2-inch heating system off of the back of that. So, when we start to deal with that, there's certain other little things, it just takes longer to do. So I want to give you a little bit of information here on flanges. Apologies, I'm a bit tired. It's been a very, very long day. I've been up since 4 o'clock and it's just after 9 o'clock now. I've not been home yet. So I want to talk to you about flanges. So I've got a couple of examples just down here. Right, so these are both. So there's 2 numbers we look at on flanges. So we look at the DN number, which is the diameter nominal, and then we look at the PN, which is the pressure nominal. So this is a DN 65, so a 65 mil waterway as it comes through, and this is a PN6, which is a pressure 6 bar. And so when the bolts were on here, these are little M12 bolts that come through, and then the gasket will then sit on top of that, and then that will sandwich in. So make sure the faces are nice and clean. No need for any paste or anything like that, and that sits on there, an absolute treat. So then when you get a PN16, same diameter pipe, then we start looking at, it starts looking like a brake disc. It's actually quite big and quite heavy actually, and this will take up to 16 bar, and they work their way up in various pressures, but you don't tend to get them on heating pipes that big, that much pressure. And then the gaskets are bigger, and then they sit on top of there. So the same size waterway, but physically different size. These have M14 bolts, and the bolt pattern is wider as well as it comes through. So yeah, if you have the higher pressures, then you're going to need the bigger flanges onto there. And then you can physically see the size difference on the gaskets as well. So yeah, you can't get these mixed up. But these aren't that expensive. Make sure you've always got a couple of spare ones with you in the van if you are working on the bigger pipe work. So if we're working on bigger pipe work, we need to cut it. So this is the Milwaukee 15 to 28 pipe slice. So yeah, obviously this has seen a few battles in the back of the van. Great little bit of kit actually. So you sort of push the button across and it spins, quite noisy for the microphone, and that then spins around just like a conventional pipe slice and cuts the pipe. So now when we're getting up to the bigger stuff, when you can see the sort of size difference, this one will then 15 to 28, and this one takes over at 35 to 54. So do your 35, 42, 54. It does do a bit of steel, does do a bit of stainless steel pipe, but we don't really get over involved in that. I'm not going to cut steel pipe. I'm probably going to cut it with a different sort of cutter and go from that way, rather than sort of taking the blade out on these, because they're actually quite expensive, the cutting wheels on these. So we've been using this one last week, this week, on the 54mm pipe, and it is an absolute dream. It's about 6 spins. That's all it takes for that to actually start to work. So a bit of an investment, about 600 quid for the cutter. I did buy a spare cutting wheel as well, because these things, if you break the cutting wheel and you don't have a spare, the thing basically is just a paperweight. It's got no use to, you can't use it for anything else apart from just doing that. So we've got a spare cutting wheel for that. We've got spare ones for this one as well, that we keep in stock. So if anything does happen, we can get it changed and we can carry on working with it. So, but yeah, commercial, bigger pipes, more water, and obviously bigger tools as well. So what is the most valuable thing business owners need to invest in? And that's not a trick question, guys. And the answer is yourself, and especially in training. So I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of YouTube videos on building businesses and growing and sort of becoming better, and I'm trying to grow a business really that works without me in it. So that's what I'm trying to do, but it's very, very difficult. So there's a quote by a guy called David Ramsey. It says, if you keep doing the same things, you will keep getting the same results. You are what you are now financially as the sum of the total of all the decisions you've ever made to this point. And quite a long little phrase, quite a long little saying that. But, there's quite a few of these phrases that get knocked around in the sort of the business world. But I think that's really, really true. We're making all these decisions. We get to a fork in the road. Do we go left? Do we go right? And we get to the next one. Do we go left? Do we go right? And that sort of puts us where we are in life. So that's within our personal, within our professional life. It puts us where we are today and all those decisions that we've made. So if you want to sort of move forwards and become and do something else and bigger and better, then you need to sort of train yourself and do that. So, and what's really, really important is that you take on board the advice of others. So, so we've got to change. So tomorrow, being the Tuesday, the 24th, I'm actually off doing some marketing training. So it's really important that part of my job here is marketing and advertising, as well as physically out on the tools, growing the team, training the team, bringing them on, and sort of getting them to grow, as well as them, out there on the road. But obviously, marketing is such an important part of the business. We've got to bring in new customers. We've got to look after our existing customers. And there's so many people out there that will charge you for the marketing and the SEO of your website and all those bits and pieces. So it's really important that you understand the jargon that they're using towards you. So I won't be able to do all the marketing forever moving forwards in Gaslec. We're going to have to employ someone to do it. But what's really important is that I understand of the terminologies and where we are and the metrics for how they're gauging it. So on Google, they use like cost per click, and those sort of things. What's a good average, what's a bad average. So you need to know those metrics. So when you're moving forwards, people are doing what you're paying someone to do. They're actually doing it correctly. And efficiently as well, and you're getting your best level of return. So just a short one this week, guys. Obviously, it's been a bit of a long day for us here. So yeah, have a fantastic week. If you've got any questions at all, email us at podcast@gaslec.net. If we can help with anyone that within the plumbing and heating industry, or they've got a small business and they want to grow it as well, email us at podcast@gaslec.net, and we'll get some questions answered. If you need any plumbing and heating within the domestic and commercial settings, you can email us at office@gaslec.net as well as. Have a fantastic week. I hope your week is a lot better than mine. You take care, guys. All the best. Goodbye.